Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of uranium. It is one of my favorite sectors at the moment, and I will let you know why I think that. Again, this is just my financial opinion. Please don't use advice. Just want to throw that out there. Let's dive in, guys. Let's see what we got. So your physical price of uranium, the futures contracts, boom, 63.45, up 1% today. And this thing, again, this is on a weekly candlestick. It's much easier to see. And what we see here is, I'll just kind of show you. We've got like a basing pattern, breakout, basing pattern, breakout. Here's this breakout, breakout, and then you stair step up. And we're launching up and up and up and up. All the ratios also, when you do the ratio analysis, are favorable for uranium, basically outperforming every other asset in the world. So this is one that I am highly interested in. And when you look at it from a long-term perspective, we're starting to break, some of these areas where it's a little bit more, let's put it here, right about there. We're breaking kind of out of these resistance lines, and I don't think I drew that right. Resistance, resistance, we kind of came up, we popped up, and now we're starting to run. This could be a very big run for uranium. Now, uranium, when you look at it from other assets, is undervalued to basically everything. So this could have a very big run to the upside. And it's looking absolutely excellent in terms of the momentum that it has here recently. Looking at the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, that's another one that's broken out, going sideways here. We had some resistance there, here, and we're starting to break and expand on that distance from the resistance. The distance from the resistance. There we go. So that's looking very good. You can see this thing rocketing up higher. Got a little bit of a down day today. Again, we may come back. We may pause here for a little bit, depending on what the price of uranium does, or maybe not. But we've broken out of that resistance. Everything's looking pretty solid. URNM, again, we are above this resistance area through here. We've broken out of this consolidation pattern through here. And we had just a small down day today. It's not a reversal pattern. There's nothing too big. Again, if we come back in this general vicinity where we're at, I look at that as a buying opportunity, because we've got the momentum in the uranium price, and the ETF is literally just hanging out. It's like a girl is waiting there. She's giving you all the signs to kiss her, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to buy anymore. And you're like, wait a minute, you gotta get a little bit more action in here, if you know what I mean. CCJ, another one that's got the double bloody nose. So what I call this, and what I see in a pattern that's very bullish, is you start to see these large up days and then the small little up days. I see this all the time. That is the we'll call it the characteristic of a bull market, or a bull move, or an upward trend. It's large up days, small down days. The differences are the uptrend, if that makes sense. This is a double bloody nose, two small little down days next to a large candlestick. Usually that's an indication of a continuation pattern higher. We do have some resistance through here coming up above us at about $32, $33, depending on where we hit it. And that's the next level that we need to break through. Bannerman. Bannerman is our boy Banny. So people were saying that it was little Banny down here. I still think it's little Banny. This is still early in his years. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a sell-off day today. That usually happens when you've got a massive gap higher like this. Will this gap fill? I'm not in the camp of the gap. Every gap has to be filled. I've seen gaps and then runaways. I just, maybe it fills, maybe it doesn't. I'm not trying to make predictions, but yeah, we could have a little pullback, maybe not. I mean, that's where I'm at. As weird it is, but I'll tell you this: we're sitting on top of a pattern. I like the medium to long-term views. This all looks good over here to me. That's what I think, and I think eventually it's going to work its way higher. Short term, I'm not going to kill worry myself over that. Little Govy, this is also sitting on top of its pattern. It's sitting on top of support. Everything looks really good for a move higher still. Global Atomic, this guy's still inside of its pattern. You could see the attempt to break at this resistance line. And I've had these resistance lines in here for a while, guys. But again, what do I look for? What do I look for? I look at the lows. How are these lows doing? How are these lows doing? They're not really making new lows. Yeah, this one's close. It came back to support, but we're making these higher lows. I don't know where this is going to go, but maybe it makes a low somewhere in here. Maybe that's all it's got to muster. Maybe we come back and test this line I've got drawn in there. It's all a possibility, but overall, it's forming a bullish pattern, a big one at that too. Forces Metals is another one that's inside this big kind of bullish pattern. It's just moving sideways. Yeah, it was kind of a larger down day today. I wouldn't be afraid. We're just moving sideways, guys. Don't be afraid. Pure Point Uranium, another one that's been stuck inside this channel. Now, here's the bad thing. It's stuck inside the channel. Here's the good thing. We're stuck inside the channel, and the more this builds momentum, or more this builds, I should say, energy. It's building energy, potential energy. We're going to convert that potential energy into kinetic energy once we break through this resistance line. I tried doing it here, wasn't successful. Then what do I go back to? Where's the lows? The lows are still hanging out and getting a little bit higher. So what's going to happen is it's going to squeeze up against this line eventually and then break. And then you'll see a big old run. It's got a lot of fuel in this tank. Last time it got up and started doing some running, it went from 12 cents to 72 cents in a heartbeat. I think this is going to be a much bigger move going forward. I don't know why I've got this line going in there, but deep yellow, looking at that good old deep yellow. Now, long term, we've got this line coming up, this resistance line. You can see we've got a whole bunch of wicks on the top here, some wicks up here. It's like the resistance land, the deep yellow resistance land, where it tries to break that line, and then it's like a magnet just bringing it back lower. Bringing it back lower below this resistance line. But what happened? We are breaking the line. We're putting our foot over the line like any 3-year-old kid would do to test the waters. And you know what? We're getting a little bit of selling here. Let me do this real quick and then zoom back in. We're getting a little bit of selling here, but we got that hammer pattern. The buyers bought it back up. Sellers aren't as strong as they used to be, guys. That's what it's showing us. I like it here. I do. Buy right on that support. Yeah, it looks good. Paladin Energy, getting a little bit more of a sell-off. Tried to run today, said no, came back down. Now, is this going to come back lower? We'll find out. We'll find out how many sellers are in this stock. Because this is a bearish pattern. We had a bearish pattern here, came back up, came back. And the highs are coming on up. So we'll see if it comes back in here. And that's all you're going to get, guys. It's all you're going to get out of this stock, I think. The sellers are becoming depleted. And all you're going to get back is probably this line over here. We touched it today, and maybe that's all we're going to get is today. Maybe it doesn't pull back anymore. Sky Harbor, another one that's been just moving sideways here on top of its big old breakout pattern here. We got some sellers up there, but we're working through it. Higher lows. We're working through all this. And then Canalaska, little bloody nose on a monthly candlestick basis. It's still working its way out. A big long-term view, we're sitting right on top of that support. It looks really good. Next Gen Energy, another one getting a double bloody nose. Still looks good to go higher. Baseload Energy, we're playing with that resistance line, getting a little bit of a sell-off today. Does that matter? No, it doesn't. I bet you we're going to make a higher low somewhere in here, and then we're going to move higher. We're going to keep moving higher, keep stepping forward. Fission 3.0, almost like this. We might have a little bit more downside in this thing, maybe. Difficult to say here. Got a little bit of a bearish pattern here. What I'm looking at is this move over on this side right here. Like, this is a very common pattern to make, and then we get sometimes a little bit of a pullback, and we might pull back a little bit before heading higher. This is a small exploration company. Fission, it's trying to break through this resistance. It's been resistance for a while, guys. We need to break through this thing. And get moving. Good support underneath it. Strong resistance where that line's at. Kazatomprom got the bloody nose, or bloody forehead nose, whatever you want to call it. Still looks good for a move higher. We got support right underneath it. Peninsula Energy, it's peaking out. Tried doing a little bit of running today. Got smacked a little bit back lower, but still we're playing with this little pattern that I drew in there, and we're right on top of it. Looks good. Boss Energy still at its mega resistance line. We'll see if we can break. International Consolidated Uranium, double bloody nose. We'll see if it can muster some moves higher. Lotus Resources doing a little bit of a retest. We'll see if we get the full retest to the line. UROY's remaining strong, guys. I like it down in this vicinity down here. I think this is a pretty versatile play. I think it provides good leverage. It provides good risk management. It's a royalty company that's got diversified royalty streams when they go into production. That's going to take some time. But this is kind of an all-around five-tool player, if you like baseball. Encore Energy getting that bloody nose, bloody forehead, smacking in the forehead here. We might pull back a little bit, but still looks good. Broken out of the pattern. UUU still just moving sideways, still looks great. We got support underneath it, resistance right above it. It'll work its way higher, I think. URG, another one that's very similar to UUU. And then UEC putting in the bullish engulfing, showing us the leader it can be. This looks like it wants to go higher. This one looks absolutely excellent for a move higher. We'll see if we can break through this resistance. That's the next test. LEU, small little down day on support. LTBR, a little bit of a down day today. ISO Energy, these are two small down days. This one looks really good if you like ISO Energy. I would be entering the stock now if it were myself. Appy Energy, another one that's sitting on top of its big old pattern, just moving sideways a little bit. No reversal candlesticks, really. Denison Mines looking good. Looks like we're just doing a little retest of this little thing. I would be looking at it right now. That's what I would be doing. Blue Sky Uranium moving sideways. Still looks okay. Big picture view. We're still underneath this resistance line. Forum Energy Metals. Let's zoom in here. It might break down. We might get a little bit more of a pullback before a move higher. We've got a little bit more larger selling pressure through here than the buying pressure. So we may pull back a little bit. Would I sell it? No, I would not. I'd just hold on. Enfield Energy moving sideways, a little bit of a down day. Laramide looking really strong. I like it here. If you like Laramide, now's the time to be entering. That is a very good looking stock there, guys. We've broken out of the resistance. We came up, did a retest, and now we're starting to move higher. It looks really good. Western Uranium Vanadium still squeezing up inside of its pattern there. UEXCF, another one that's squeezing up, could potentially break to the upside at any point. Mega Uranium getting these small little down days. The sellers are starting to exhaust themselves. I do think it's going to go higher eventually. Standard Uranium moving sideways, not much to really say there. AXEF looks like it. This one does look like it's strengthening a little bit. Got this kind of roundish bottom pattern going on here. The lows are also stepping up. So that's one, maybe to look at. It's a very small company. It's probably pretty illiquid too, but still below its resistance line. Small little guy. Azincourt continues to strengthen just a little bit by little bit. And we're in this large squeezing up. This will break at some point, guys, and just run. It will run. This is velour metals, another one that's broken out. It's just hanging out. Broken out to hang out. And it still looks good, though. I like it where it's at. Elevate, still getting a little bit of a small down day today, but still looks absolutely beasty. This thing is beast. It's in beast mode. 92 Energy is looking good, too. It's broken out of its downtrend, still looking fantastic for a move higher with time. Yeah, we have a down day today, but I should say it's a flat day. Momentum's coming back down. But that still looks good. So everything looks good on the sector, guys. It's we're bouncing around. UEC looks probably the strongest of them all. It's way up there though. Which ones would I be buying right now? Maybe a UROY. UROY's kind of low in there, and maybe some of these explorers. Some of the explorers, maybe like an Azincourt or something like that. Looks pretty good. But overall, the entire sector looks very strong. They're all sitting on top of patterns. They all look good. What I'm doing is I'm hanging on, and if I see opportunities, if they pull back and they're still above trend lines and patterns and above the support areas, everything's still game. So what I'm saying is everything's still game until it's not, and I think it's way game on by looking at the physical price of uranium. That's in full beast mode. So these will catch up. They'll catch up. Give me a thumbs up for the content, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Check out my website if you're interested in that. Platinum membership gets you everything. We do the weekly Zoom calls, the question and answer sessions, and yeah, you guys can learn a bunch from those sessions. Hopefully you do, at least. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.